Hey, this is Gilgamesh, and I really should have done this haul video, like, I don't know, a while ago. Because some, this happened like a few months ago. For the first time ever, I went to an estate sale. They advertised that they had comics, and in the picture, they showed some really, well, a few really good ones, like Amazing Spider-Man 300. Of course, when I got there, I'd never been to one of these things before, so I didn't really know that you had to get there like way before it opened because there would be a line forming up outside. Um, I don't know that it mattered necessarily all that much. There was maybe a couple of people who dug through the comics before I got to them. I saw somebody walking away with some Infinity Gauntlet books that I definitely would have picked up, but some of the stuff that they had, like the Amazing Spider-Man 300, they had pulled aside and they were marking them up like for hundreds of dollars, and they weren't in good enough condition to warrant that kind of price. But anyway, they did have like this big um, plastic tub, like full of comics, and none of them were bagged and boarded or anything, and a lot of them were in really bad shape, including some of the ones that I picked up that I didn't realize when I was pulling them out of there that they were in as bad a shape as they were. That's too bad. But they were like $2 a piece. Um, so I got some good deals based on that, and on some I really overpaid. But I just kind of wanted to show off some of the books I got, like this Iron Man 300. This is the direct edition with the foil cover and everything, and I think it's like the first appearance of the Iron Legion, but I don't really know all that much about it. That book came out in what, like the early 90s, 93 or 94 maybe. Um, they did have a Silver Surfer number 50, but it's kind of beat up. It's got like some, I don't know, chipping across the top, and some of the spine, some of the color is chipped away from the spine. I think there's actually like a little chunk taken out of the corner up here. So I can't really speak as to the condition of that book. I found Cable Blood and Metal number 1. This is the first time Cable had his own series that he starred in. I actually got this book when I was younger, like a teenager, when it first came out. But I picked up a second copy just because it was there and it was $2. So, and that one's actually not in that bad. It's got maybe a couple little spine ticks, but nothing that really breaks color. So it's okay. It's not great. I found in X-Force number 15. It says Greg Capullo art, and this is the one where Cable goes and rescues the real Domino. She'd been like, Copycat had been pretending to be her the whole time. This isn't her first, like the first appearance of the real Domino. That's issue, I want to say 11. I'm not entirely sure. And it's an early Deadpool appearance. Speaking of whom, I found this Deadpool number 3. This is from the first miniseries he ever had. It's got this like sticker that's actually on the book, so that's too bad. And speaking of the books that were beat up, I found this Batman Adventures number 1. I thought, well, Batman Adventures number 1 for $2, that's awesome. But man, this book is in really bad shape, which I did not realize when I first grabbed it. The cover is like barely attached. There's even, you can kind of see it, there's kind of a rip right here where one of the staples is. So it's in pretty awful shape. I don't think it's worth what I paid for it. There was this whole stack of other Batman comics that I picked up that I'm not going to show off because I already moved them somewhere else, and they were mostly from like the late 400s, basically the early 90s. And, well, for Batman and like in the 600s, I think, for Detective Comics. I got most of Nightfall, like maybe about 3/4 of it, maybe a little more. And I got some other stuff. I got the first appearance of Renee Montoya was in there, but nothing really special. And there was also a bunch of Todd McFarlane Amazing Spider-Mans. Like I got 302, 304, 305, 312, 313, and his final issue, 328. I couldn't pass those up. And a few Eric Larson issues as well. 343, which is cool, but then I also found 346 and 347, the two Venom issues. So I had to grab those. And these are actually, these two Venom issues are actually newsstand editions. So that's pretty cool. Another newsstand edition I found is Fantastic Four 348. You can really tell this is the early 90s. The new Fantastic Four with Spider-Man, Wolverine, the Hulk, and Ghost Rider. Now this one, the condition on it isn't too bad, but I'm pretty sure originally the cover was supposed to be like a lot wider than this. This looks kind of, is really yellowed. And you can actually see a lot of like staining on it. So I don't know, maybe it could be cleaned and cleaned up, made to look a little bit better. I'm not really sure, but it does have Art Adams artwork on it. So that's pretty cool. And they also had 349, another Art Adams issue. I guess it's the second part of that storyline. They also had 350 there, which I picked up just because, you know, whatever. It was I guess, you know, a milestone issue. 350. Found a Captain America number 255. This is the 40th anniversary of Captain America. This was published, I want to say, in 1981. So I guess the original, like, Marvel #1, or Captain America Comics #1, whatever his first appearance was, I'm not even sure, was came out in 1941. But I thought that was cool, so I picked it up. I thought I would show one of the, because there was actually two of these, and this is actually one of those things where there were two issues in like in a poly bag, and this, I think this was like the only one that was actually in a poly bag. So when I picked it up, I thought there was only one in there, and they only charged me for one, but there was actually two copies of it. It's the newsstand edition. It's not, both of them actually were the newsstand edition, so it doesn't have the black like half cover thing. But that's issue 497, where Bane breaks Batman's back. Last couple of books. Found a House of Secrets 106. Nothing special about that, except I saw that Bernie Wright's cover, and I had to get it. It's such a gorgeous cover. Bernie Wright's, man, he's one of my all-time favorites. The condition on this book is actually really bad, but that cover image is still intact. So I don't regret getting that one. Even though it's probably not worth what I paid for it, but I like, you know, having it. And the final book that I got, Punisher number 10, guest starring Daredevil. This is one of those, well, I don't know if I want to say key issues of the early Punisher series, but it was hot for a little while. So I thought I would grab it, and for $2, it's worth more than that. I'm pretty sure. It's in good shape. Probably very fine plus. But that's about it. It was an interesting experience, the estate sale. If I found another one that had comics in it, I think I would go again and see what else I could find, because I'm pretty sure there's probably more stuff there that I overlooked. It was like really crowded and hard to dig through um, all the comics. They were just, in this one little bedroom, and you had people filing through and trying to get to everything, and I felt like I was in the way the entire time. It kind of sucked actually, but um, I wish I'd had more time to just look through everything. But I got what I could, and if I got another chance to do something similar, I would take it.